Alright, this is how you install Linux on Termux using Samsung Dex so that you have it all up on your monitor and can use your mouse, keyboard, USB hub, computer speakers, USB drives, SD cards, portable hard drives, passport, all that. So there's a program called, excuse me, I got allergies. There's a program called Andronix. This is Termux. It doesn't really look like it. Let's close it out and reopen it. Let's start a new session. Feel that? These are, the operating system's already running, so that's why you see all that. This is what it'll look like, just like in Termux, like on your phone, except we got Samsung Dex and it's up on the monitor. So, well, hold on, I gotta start with installing it. You just go pick your Linux distribution. You can pick Debian, Ubuntu. I chose Debian. Manjaro, Kali for all you hackers. Void is pretty cool too. Fedora's got a lot of support. Arch Linux is cool. Alpine. I've installed all of these and ran them. Right now I only have Debian and Kali installed on here. But you just click on it and choose your desktop environment, or if you want window managers like OpenBox. I don't, but if you do, I have installed one like that before. Or you can do command line only, but nobody's probably mostly going to do that. This phone has an 8-core processor in it, so it can run all of this. It can run Blender. You can do all that, but just click your desktop, which I chose XFCE4, which is what this comes with, XFCE4. You just click on that, and then it's going to copy all of that to your clipboard, and then you just go in here, hit paste, and hit enter. I'm not going to do that because it already got it installed. It's going to take about 7, 8, 10 minutes to install. It installs the ARM version of Linux on here instead of the x86 version, because we got an ARM processor in here. But it's an octa-core Snapdragon processor, so it's snappy and fast. You do all that. You set your password, time zone, and all that. Anyway, that's already been done. So once you got it installed, you're going to initialize it. You're going to go and click VNC server -localhost. That will start the kernel. It's going. And then you're going to export your display to display 1. You can do 2 also. Hit 1. Just do 1. And then you're going to start the desktop environment. Start XFCE4. You're going to get a couple warnings because this is going to go over a VNC router so that you can see it, obviously. The only Dex compatible VNC tool I know of in the Play Store for Android is Multi-VNC. The guy that wrote this is a great guy. I've spoken with him on email. And I already have the password stored in there, so boom, now you're in Linux with XFCE4. You can see you got Synaptic Package Manager, just like Ubuntu or Debian, except you got the terminal, you got Q terminal, you have Office, Dictionary, ABBA-Word, which is like Word, you have Pulse Audio, you also have ALSA or ALSA if you want. It all works just like having Debian installed on a partition on your computer. It has a lot. I've got a lot of packages installed. I don't have Blender installed right now, but you can install Blender on here. It doesn't run crazy fast because that is an advanced 3D modeling program, and it's meant to run on Intel processors or x86 processors. But So you got pretty much the full Linux experience here. Full sound, everything. Really, there isn't much that you don't have on here. You go to YouTube and play some music. You see a lot of computer programming stuff on here, Game of Thrones stuff, my conservative views, cars, movies. Anyway, let's play one of them, see if it comes through. We'll do I'm down in the basement, so I'm a little far away from the router, so it can get a little slow sometimes, depending on how many people are streaming. I got 5 4K TVs in this house. This is a video game that I wrote in Python. Poor quality video. I wonder why that's like that. Very poor. That's me narrating. Anyway, that's enough of that. You have full. I don't know why that video was so poor. It must be not. It's still transcoding or something, because I just uploaded it. Probably only in 360p right now. But this monitor's 1080p, so I can't really show any 4K stuff. It will play 4K fine. I just don't have the monitor hooked up. I had a 4K TV hooked up to it. It worked perfect. And that's with another operating system running. Like I said, Samsung or Android with Samsung Dex on top of it running. Just go like that. Go back to this session. And then you can do your update. This has already been done today, so there's not going to be any updates or upgrades. But I'll do it in Termux instead of in... I'll show you why. Debian uses APT. Termux uses package. So kind of cover all your bases there. Anyway, that's where you do... This is where everything's done from. Is from Termux and Android. So that's where I install the updates instead of installing them in these terminals here, like Q terminal or XFCE or A term. Instead of doing it in here, you can do it in there, but so that's how you do that. It's easy. Anybody can do it. There's some configurations where Linux will load in the wrong resolution, and you'll have to use mine just stopped doing it one day. I have no idea why. I must have just got an update that actually auto detected this monitor or something, because it never did it before. But if it comes up in the wrong resolution, just xrender-s for size, then 1920 by 1080, boom, it'll automatically, or whatever your monitor resolution is, whatever it is you type here, bam. I'm not going to do it because it's already in the right resolution. So what else? What else to tell you about this? File system, you cannot, it's got your normal, and this is not rooted. This device is not rooted at all. So you'll notice when you try to get into the Android file system, it won't let you because it's proprietary. It's not open source. So you can't get in there. It does have Synaptic Package Manager. It's pretty cool. And like I said, this is meant to run on an ARM processor. It runs snappy. I can also run Kali Linux at the same time. I don't do that. You can. It doesn't really slow it down very much, but it does slow it down just a tad bit. You just export it to, you just would go, you would start Kali Linux and then you would export it to 2, and you'd come out of here. You'd come out of here and go into your VNC viewer. Actually, you would have to close this out. Let's see what we got to do. I don't remember how you open both of them up at the same time, to be honest with you. Maybe I have not done that. Maybe I'm lying. But anyway, you would just kill that and then start Kali and then route back in. Except you would have to change this to your port number. It would be 127.0.0.1 and then probably 5901 is what I remember. And you password. These right here are bookmarks. So this has already got my Debian password in there, so I don't have to. But if you didn't have it saved in there, you would just type it in there and connect. So that's how this is how multi-VNC works. It's a great application. Works perfect. Never had any problem with it. My only complaint with it is where this toggle is right here. Sometimes this right here that gives you access to multi-VNC when you already got access to it right here kind of bothers me, because you'll see when you load Chromium, it gets in the way of all your buttons there. So you got that. That's the only problem. They added when they updated multi-VNC, they added a bunch of zoom buttons for here, because this isn't really meant to run on Dex. It just does. So it has buttons for people who have touch screens here. It has zoom buttons and it has a keyboard. You don't need any of that. So I was able to get the writer of this software to point me towards the older version that didn't have it, because I don't need that and it just gets in the way. I wish there was an older version that didn't have this green toggle here, or if it were somewhere else or a lot smaller. But other than that, it's a great program. And what else? That's about it. Maybe I'll make a separate Kali Linux video, but it's the exact same concept. There's no difference really, except for the start command might be different. But and to get back and forth in between Dex, just click that VNC and you're here. And this is Termux. Also, while you're in Debian Linux, you can bring Android apps up on top of it, like Termux. It's pretty cool. And you can bring any Android app up over it. And then when you click back on the Debian desktop, they'll go away. You just bring them right back up. It's pretty sneaky. This is all being done on a Samsung Galaxy Note 9, which is 5 years old. Broken. Screen's got 10 breaks in it. The entire back of it's broke. The camera still works good. All of the hardware still works 100% fine. It's actually running Android 10, with, I don't know what version of Dex it runs, but it runs an older version of Dex, but it works fine. You can get your Android notifications here. This shows your Wi-Fi, volume. Volume's handled through Android. You also have the ability to adjust it through Pulse. I always keep the source side turned up to 100 and then adjust the audio here. I've got computer speakers hooked up to this. This is just a phone running acting as a desktop computer, and I have a 2 terabyte hard drive hooked to I have a USB hub that has nine ports, including 2 of them are the highest 3 amp, I believe, maybe 2 amp, but I can't see it. But I've got a 6-in-1 card reader plugged into this hub. I have several USB. I have my mouse hooked into it, although you can use a wireless one with your phone if you want. I have a wireless Logitech keyboard hooked to the phone, but I also have a wired one hooked to it because the Logitech is kind of a multimedia keyboard, and there's a few buttons. It doesn't have a print screen button on it, but this wired one that I got here does, and it stays hooked in USB while the other one's hooked in Bluetooth. And there's no conflicts with any of this stuff. All of it works. My card reader has 6 cards in it now. I have several USB drives in I have 3.5 terabytes of storage on this rigged desktop that's just a phone going through a Dex adapter. It's not even a real Dex adapter. It's just a cheap USB-C to HDMI that has a USB out and a USB power in. It keeps your phone charged. So, what else? All these apps work in Dex. Not all of them. One that does not work in Dex that I'll show you is Adobe Sketchbook. It won't work. It does work, but it just doesn't work very well. Maybe. Where's one of them that just straight refuses to work? I don't know. Oh, Google Earth. You can still use Google Maps, but if you try to use Google Earth, it just says no, it's meant for a touchscreen. You can't use it. But Google Maps still works and all that. And, I know what I was going to show you. This is the app I use to make sure that all of the USB drives, all of the SD, memory stick, SD minis, all of the, I also have 4 gig SAN discs, the big ones, I forget what they're called. Peel this QR label off, I'll tell you. Compact flash. Yeah, I got compact flash and memory stick. What else is on this? TF, I don't even know what that is. I don't remember anyway. But I also have a 2 terabyte a passport, Western Digital Passport. So this thing's got uber amounts of storage. It's ridiculous. This app helps you mount your this app right here helps you mount your portable hard drive in Linux. Like, you can tell it's not mounted right now, but if it were, it'll still show up. You see all these externals? This is one of them is a 6-in-1 card reader, so it's got a bunch of stuff. There's a USB, several USB things hooked into the hub. There is a Western Digital 2 terabyte hard drive, and this is one of the USB thumb drives showing up. And then there's the external, it's not external, there's an internal SD card in the phone that's, I believe, 128 gigs. So there literally is a ton of storage. Plus the phone itself has 256 gigs of internal storage. I mean, they're in the just mad amounts of storage. And it's a phone. It also has, like I said, speakers hooked up to it through the headphone jack. What else do I have? That's about it. I think that's everything you should be able to. This is what your home path looks like, because you're over a VNC router, and you really can't tell though. That is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.